Teen suicides increase, searching for answers to halt this disturbing trend. J.C. Ruff, age 16, was a high school pitcher in Cincinnati, Ohio. He died by suicide. Taylor Schmid, age 17, was an enthusiastic pilot and hiker from upstate New York. He also died by suicide. Josh Anderson, age 17, of Vienna, Virginia, was a football player. He killed himself the day before a school disciplinary hearing. Suicide is when a person ends his or her own life. Experts say mental illness is what often leads to suicide. Mental illness affects people's mood and behavior. Many people have mental health concerns at some point. Most mental illnesses can be treated with medication and therapy. Therapy is speaking to a counselor for help. Often, family and friends do not recognize the warning signs or underlying mental health issues leading to suicide. Suicide rates rise among white, Black youths. Suicides among white children and teens between ages 10 and 17 increased 70% between 2006 and 2016. This is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In 2006, about 3 of every 100,000 white youths died by suicide. In 2016, more than 5 white youths out of 100,000 died by suicide. The highest risk group is white males between ages 14 and 21. Black children and teens kill themselves less often than white youth. However, the increase in their percentage was higher, 77%. In 2006, about 1.5 out of 100,000 Black youth died by suicide compared to more than 2.5 out of 100,000 in 2016. A study of children's hospitals from last May revealed another troubling number. Patients ages 5 to 17 who reported suicidal thoughts and actions more than doubled from 2008 to 2015. Possible reasons vary for a rise in teen suicides. Experts in teens cite many reasons for the rise in teen suicides. Mental health services can be hard to find. Tests for mental illness might be infrequent. Also, many young men and people of color do not want to admit there is a problem, so they do not seek care. Then there's the well-documented and hard-to-solve social issues. These include drug-addicted parents, America's divided feelings about the government, and poverty that persists in many areas. Lauren Anderson said, "Teens' lives can be especially hard." Anderson is the head of the Josh Anderson Foundation in Virginia. It is named after her brother who died by suicide. Anderson said, "Teens' brains are still growing, which causes them to think and act differently. They are more inclined to risky behavior to decide in that moment." Sometimes life is so traumatic for a young person, suicide seems like the best choice. Meanwhile, depressed adults might weigh the negatives of suicide. They might think more about how it will affect those left behind. Downcast mood was a sign of trouble. In the weeks before he took his life, Taylor seemed somber. His family thought his downcast mood was teenage anxiousness and laziness. Still, Taylor's mother, Lori Schmid, tried to get Taylor to see a mental health counselor. Taylor refused. One upside has resulted from the pain suffered by Taylor's family. Schmid speaks to schools and parents about the signs of depression and encourages counseling. She provides information for suicide hotlines and text lines. Her motto is, "Say something," and "Talk to someone." This has created far more knowledge about mental health and the need for counseling in her area. Joe Parks is a psychiatrist in Missouri. A psychiatrist treats patients for mental illnesses. Parks said there should be more psychiatrists. He also believes psychiatrists need to be connected with medical doctors' clinics. Depression is colorblind. Two African American preteen Washington students killed themselves within 2 months recently, which drew attention to an overlooked problem. Craig Martin is a leader at the men's health group Movember Foundation. He said, "Many consider suicide a white person's issue. Less is being done in Black communities to look at the issue of depression. Mental health issues are also looked at very negatively in the African American community. That means teens who are struggling with mental health issues are less likely to seek treatment."